How do you consciously consume fashion in a fast fashion world? And what the fuck is conscious consumption? Conscious consumption is a concept I adore. I talk about it a lot on my Instagram and my TikTok. Hi, I'm Lottie. I'm normally on Instagram and TikTok. I'm now on YouTube. I talk about conscious consumption a lot, but I want to do a deep dive into what it actually is and how you can use it within your life. Conscious consumption simply means to engage in the economy with more awareness of your choices and impacts on the environment and society as a whole. As a conscious consumer, every purchase reflects my core values. I adore fashion history, I adore learning everything about fashion. But the problem is when a system turns the form of self-expression into monetization and corporate gain. When trends become really fast, we just end up mindlessly consuming them, and conscious consumption is the opposite of that. Finding the root cause of why fast fashion is so addictive is so helpful for us to analyze our own psychology and how we act within the world when we consume. It numbs your negative feelings. Many people shop to avoid negative feelings and pursue unattainable ideals that are sold to us. Psychologists have found that big feelings are often a really big drive for us to be buying fast fashion, and it leads to potential compulsive buying disorder. I've read a book all about this, which is called The Psychology of Fashion. I'll put it up here. And that's where I got most of these theories from and where I delved into this topic because I find it so very interesting. Compulsive buying disorder is more common than we think. It's estimated up to 92% of those with CBD, which is kind of like, it's not that, it's the different one. But CBD starts with anxiety and tension before purchases, and then a sense of relief when you buy it, which I've definitely had, which is such a strange feeling to constantly have clothes on your mind that you must purchase in your brain, and then once you get it, you're like, phew. But you're on to the next thing almost immediately. To give it a name totally helps me realize what it is and helps it click in my brain that it's actually an issue, and it's not just something that I only feel, it's a feeling that many people feel. Dopamine hunting with fast fashion is just never fulfilled. Fashion keeps reinventing itself and appeals to consumers as your brain is often focused on things that are new or unfamiliar to yourself. Dopamine is a feeling we get, and it is the reason behind many addictive behaviors. Also, fast fashion, I feel like, is addictive because it's a sign of your social status. If you have the latest trend or the latest Adidas trainers, I think you're just showing that your possessions are representing your wealth or your social status. Conspicuous consumption is very different from conscious consumption. All begin with C's, all fucking with my dyslexia, but conspicuous consumption is defined by spending money on acquired goods to display economic wealth as a form of maintaining your social status. With social media, we're constantly watching what everyone else is buying, what everyone else is wearing and consuming. So I feel like it's a never-ending style of trying to fit in or trying to show off with the latest fashion. It's estimated 10 to 20% of clothes that are purchased and never worn, and it's just people attempting to keep up with consumption and with the latest styles. So clothes on average are only worn 7 times, which is absolutely wild and is a statistic that I will never shut up about because that's ridiculous. I think the first way to start consciously consuming is to stop buying clothes for the fantasy version of yourself. Huge amount of overconsumption happens because people are thinking of that fantasy version of themselves. The girl who goes to brunch every weekend, the minimalist woman who has a beige capsule wardrobe. But what do you actually wear in your day-to-day and what fits into your real life? And that's a really good thing to evaluate if you want to start consciously consuming fashion. No one is the image of what they see on their Pinterest board. Really cute outfits, but if you see that video and you're already in a spiral of consumption or you're thinking that you need to buy something new, I would, when I was really deep into buying fast fashion and like having kind of a fast fashion addiction. I don't know if it's an actual real addiction. I feel like it could be. I feel like it definitely is. I feel like there needs to be more research on it. But if I saw that video and I had brunch, I'd be like, fuck, I need to go buy something new. I need to look like those women. I need to be that woman who wears the coolest fit to the brunch outing. When actually you don't. You can just wear clothes that you already own. Knowing your personal style is a really hard concept. I think there's a lot of talk online about personal style. Personal style is a cool thing. It's an ever-changing thing. It's also something that grows over time. Me stepping away from fast fashion consumption and wanting to steal everyone else's style really led me to discovering my personal style, but that personal style is always changing. I would, instead of thinking of the core or like the aesthetic you want to be, think about what shapes do you feel good in? What colors do you repeat naturally? What fabrics do you reach for, and what do you actually wear on a day-to-day? I wear big baggy tees a lot when I'm working from home, when I am making videos, which I do for a lot of my life, when I am chilling, when I'm going to the grocery store. So I was like, I want to wear these big baggy tees. I love being covered up in big baggy tees and big trousers, but how do I make them cool? I went on Vinted and I found some that had animals on. They're not to everyone's taste, they're definitely my personal style. I wear them a lot in videos, in the evenings, if I'm going out with friends and I'm kind of feeling PMS or I'm on my period and I just want to cover my stomach and my body but still look cool. I will wear my cool vintage and vinted finds of these animal t-shirts that still give me the aesthetic I want, but I feel really comfortable in. Before buying anything, ask yourself, will you wear it 30 times? Or will you just wear it once to dinner or twice for photos? There's the 30 wear rule, which some people use, where you have to name 30 times you're actually gonna wear it. I use a rule of, before I consciously consume an item, I will heart it, favorite it, like leave it somewhere within my phone. And then if I'm still thinking about that item 3 to 6 months later and I'm still like, that would really fit in my wardrobe, then I will potentially think about buying it. First, I'll try and consume it secondhand, but if I can't find it secondhand, then I may consciously consume it from a fast fashion shop. Haven't done that in quite a long while because I can find most things secondhand, but I will do that. Or I will not think about it again. Because often after those 3 months or 6 months, which feels like such a long time, in reality, it's not. I mean, it's the same, it's like quarter of a birth, of a maternity, pregnancy. How do I get onto such strange topics in my brain? And now you guys are inside my brain, listen to me talking about this, but it's like a quarter of a birth. Like an elephant is pregnant for 21 months, I think. David Attenborough said that. So it's not even the pregnancy of an elephant, which is the biggest mammal on earth. I love David Attenborough. Okay, so we've gone pregnancy, David Attenborough. Lottie, going back to my script. That's why I have a script and why I use my script. Pausing before purchasing slows you down. Try thinking of the 6-month rule, or if it's easier for you to do a month long, then that's fine, but it's just about pausing before you click buy. Buying better and buying less clothes actually saves you money in the long run. A 20 quid top that you've just bought because you've gone into a shop once and you wear it once is not going to compare to a more expensive top or a better quality top that you've bought secondhand, but it's actually like 50 quid, because then you'll be able to wear that multiple times. I always try and look for natural fibers when possible. I look for sturdy seams and I look for colors that I love. I have a color palette that I'm always drawn to, and I've started evolving it this year, but for the last 2 years I kept to it. That was like black and red and browns. That's all I'd probably wear. I'm now delving into more blues, darker tones, greens. I'm rarely wearing them though, to be honest. I'm still sticking with those blacks and those reds, apart from a few pops of colour that I'm trying to introduce into my wardrobe. Black and red and looking like a ladybug is my style. Maybe you don't want to look like a ladybug. Maybe you want to look like a grasshopper and you're really obsessed with shades of green. Or maybe there's other colours like pink that you're drawn to, and purples.
How to dress like a cool girl with things already in your closet. First, start with a piece you love but almost never reach for whatever reason. Next, we'll add a well-worn, well-loved piece to complement it, one of your absolute favorites. Then we'll use the wrong shoe method. Add a shoe that doesn't match the vibe of the first two pieces. Bonus points if you incorporate some fun-colored socks. Then let's play with layers. Add some sort of vest, collar, or jacket on top. Now it's time to accessorize. More is more, in my opinion. Last but not least, choose a bag that matches your shoes, whether in vibe or in color. And that is the finished look.
I love trends like these. I love when we're taking things out of our wardrobe that we haven't worn for a while. I think shopping your own wardrobe is another concept that I really adore, because there's so many items in our wardrobe that we will put away for like a few months, and then when we come back and use them again, we become obsessed with them again, because we've basically given ourselves a dopamine hit without actually buying anything new. I think repeating outfits without shame as well. Like, I struggle sometimes with this when if I wear the same outfit 2 days in a row, I'll be like, wearing the same clothes. But even last week, I wore a fit to my office and then I had to go do something with my girlfriend and I wore the same outfit because I liked it that week. And I just thought I'd created such a good combo in my head that I'd unlocked and hadn't worn for a long while. So I think repeating outfits, it's just normal. It's your own clothes. Wear your own clothes. They aren't there for other people. It's not there for a social media version of yourself. They are there to be worn by you.
Hello class, here's how you can rewear your outfits without it looking repetitive. Having a capsule wardrobe means wearing the same outfit repetitively, but there's ways to remix things to make it more creative. Tip number 1, with no surprise, is to play with different layers. Layers create instant novelty, like adding a tank top, adding a vest, adding a cardigan. Layering pieces create a new architecture. Tip number 2 is to rotate the hero piece, rotate the statement pieces. Like last time you wore a statement jacket, and this time you let your shoe be the statement, adding more variety and visual interest into different parts of your outfit. Number 3, accessories. Accessories do 70% of the illusion work sometimes. From bag creates different silhouette, more structured. Bag versus a tote bag. Statement jewelry creates so much visual interest. You can also layer jewelry differently, sometimes more minimal, sometimes more stacked. They all add a different element, different vibe to an outfit. Tip number 4 is to change proportions. Tiny tweaks create a little bit of visual difference, like cuffing the jeans, half tuck versus full tuck, belted versus unbelted. Your brain just needs to read it as new. Number 5, hair and makeup are secret weapons. They are a part of your outfit. Pin straight hair, a messy bun, hair up versus hair down, a sleek back, they all give out different purpose. Makeup sometimes set the formality level of the outfit. Next is to space out your outfit strategically. If you wore it yesterday, you probably just don't want to wear it the next day. And I tend to just avoid repeating in the same context. Like if I'm hanging out with the same people, I try to not show up with the same outfit I hung out with the last time. And if it's the same setting, like a date night, if I wore it the last date night, I probably wouldn't wear it the next. The time gap does matter when you're repeating your outfits. Last but not least, with anything, you just have to own it with confidence. So what if you're repeating outfits? Repetition looks intentional when you don't apologize for it. It's the way you walk it like it's new, your posture, your attitude. Plus, let's be real, most people don't care. As an outfit repeater myself, I hope these tips are helpful. See you in the next video.
Such useful tips. I love them so much. Couldn't have said it better myself, so I let her say it. Definitely go check out her account, which I've linked here. What conscious consumption isn't is perfection. I don't think in this world we can be truly perfect. I don't think we can hold ourselves to a particular standard. You can't compare yourself to me and my consumption if you're living in a different area where it's hard to consume secondhand or slow fashion. Also, like, I have a full-time job. I'm able to pay money for clothes that I really want to invest in. Often people, if they're working at minimum wage, they won't be able to. So maybe they will buy fast fashion once every few months of pieces that they actually really adore because it is hitting a lower price point that they can achieve. I don't think there's a catch-all for everyone, but conscious consumption is very different for every single different person, and it's all about your own individual consumption. You shouldn't feel guilty every single time you shop as well, because conscious consumption for me means that I'm buying my first-hand underwear, because I won't buy it second-hand because I think that's kind of grim, from M&S. I'm going into M&S, even though they have some fast fashion bits in there and they're trying to hit the younger audience currently, which maybe is a whole separate video, but I will go into M&S, I'll go into Primark to buy my granny underwear. I'm very transparent about that. I think it's also about buying more thoughtfully, thinking about the clothes you already have, and it's feeling like you shouldn't have to buy fast fashion or feel pressured into it just because it's trending. What's one thing that's helped you buy less clothes impulsively? I would absolutely adore you to share any tips that you can help each other with in comments. I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly growing. I'm not the perfection, sustainable, girly I have never acted to be. I consciously consume. Sometimes I buy fast fashion, like very rarely, but I need the underwear. I'm gonna shut up about underwear. I don't know why I've gone a bit doolally. This is the true me. I'm gonna go make my lunch. I think maybe that's it. Maybe I need some lunch. I'm getting so much more comfortable chatting on YouTube though. This is just us having a little chit chat and I absolutely adore it. I really hope you enjoy these videos. They are a lot of effort to make. I'm bulk making them, so it's chill. But I really like making them and I'd love you to tell me in the comments what other videos that you want to see in the future. And I'll see you in the next video for more fashion deep dives and secondhand and slow fashion content.